crafting friends! Today I'm going to do the tutorial for the ceramic coaster. I'm going to be using the square coaster, and I'm going to be using the verse, "My flesh and heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever." This does have a circular pattern, but we're going to make it work here on the square. Some other things that I have my Mod Podge, I have my brush, I have my I have my dog barking. I have some plastic. Actually, I'm going to use the inside of this plastic that is flat. And then I have my sanding block. This is the cork backing to the tile. Some scissors, and then some sealant, and I'll talk about this at the end. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the napkin because we're only going to be using the one corner. If you watched our tutorials before and you've worked with our napkins, then you know I always explain that we custom print our own designs here in the US. Therefore, to keep costs down, we're only able to print on the front side of the napkins. If we did outsource in China, we would be able to print all four, but I choose to use the US printers so that we can support the US economy. And so that's why we only have the print on the front. But we'll only be working with the top ply. These are high quality 3-ply napkins. These are wedding quality, like you would get for custom printed for weddings. And so we just want the very top ply of this. And honestly, getting the top ply is usually the hardest part of this whole project. So, I often get asked to, well, I only got the bottom ply, so I'm gonna have to do one more time. You can actually eat off of these napkins if you were gonna get them for a special event. We've had people get them for baptisms, for women's events. So you can purchase them if you had a special event and wanted a special verse. You can purchase them and eat off them as well. They're not just for crafting, folks. But there you go, we just want the very top ply. You can tell when it's pretty much transparent there. And that's what we're gonna be using for our project. So I am gonna put it on there, and then we're just gonna get our Mod Podge. Now these tiles are pretty thirsty, so you might have to use a little bit more Mod Podge if it starts sucking it up on you. So I'm just gonna cover the whole thing here. And the tile does have bent edges, so make sure you kind of get around the little corners of the edges. Not all the way around the tile. I don't wrap mine around generally. But if you did want to wrap it around, you could do that as well. I generally just do the top. If you watch the other coaster tutorials, like if you did the free download in the group, that one is actually wrapped. If you did the printable, the free printable, that one is actually wrapped. Got some Mod Podge on my scissors there. I don't want to have them shut. Okay, so now I'm gonna try and center my design, and because I am putting a circle on a square, I do want some of the circle edges on here, but I want the circle to kind of be represented a little bit evenly around here. Alright, I'm good with that. My dog is being super needy today. Okay, then I'm just use my plastic to try and work out. I'm just using it to rub out the bubbles. Hey, stop. And I'm just gently rubbing out the bubbles here with the plastic. You don't want to use your finger because the finger tends to catch. And so this side, I can already tell it has sucked up my Mod Podge and it's not sticking. So I'm just adding a little more Mod Podge, taking my plastic and working it out. And this part has a bubble. My son is outside and they told him to take the dog out with him. He did not. So the dog is not happy. All right, and I'm just making sure all my edges are here. Just working out any bubbles. I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to the bubbles, and it gets me in trouble all the time. So I gotta quit working it, but it looks all perfect except for that one little bubbles there. Okay. Let it be, Melanie, let it be. All right, so I've got it on there. It literally looks perfect except that one little corner bubbles, so we're gonna let it go. Okay, so this is what we have right there. And then what we're gonna wanna do is I have my sanding block, and you can actually take the sanding block, and you wanna make sure that it's dry before you start working it. But you can take the sanding block and just sand off the edges, and that's what's gonna give us the perfect edge. Actually, no. And you'll see that it just starts coming off. So we just go around the edges there, and then you'll get like the perfect edge. So again, you want to do this when it's dry. I am rushing it a little bit for the sake of the video, so that you don't have to wait on me here. So just work around. All right, so then we've got our nice clean edges all the way around. And then from there, these just come on a sticky back. So you just pull the back. I'm not gonna put it on now because it's still wet, but you're gonna wanna stick the sticky back to the back. And then the last thing that you're going to want to do is you're gonna wanna seal it. Now this is the sealant that I use. It's actually engine spray. So I got this at Home Depot or Lowe's, I can't remember. So what you want is the ones that say up to 550 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is actually what they use to coat engines. It's a high gloss, clear. And what you do with this is you spray it on it in a high ventilated area, so outside. Do not spray this inside your house. You will probably like suffocate. It's super like fumy. So you want to spray 2 coats of this. So you'll spray 1 coat, then I usually let it sit 24 hours, either outside or spray it outside and then bring it in your garage or whatever. It's gonna stink up your garage. But let it sit for 24 hours, then I put it outside, spray it again, you know, just like you would light coats, and then bring it inside, let it sit for another 24 hours, and then it should be sufficiently sealed. Now the reason you wanna use this instead of a coat of Mod Podge to seal it is because this is gonna allow it so that when your beverages, if you're using it as an actual coaster, when your beverages sweat or whatever, it's not gonna stick to it. Or when you put coffee mugs on it or whatever, you can use that as an actual coaster and it's not gonna stick to it. Now, if you were just gonna use this as like just a pretty picture or put it on a tier tray or something, you could seal it with Mod Podge and just leave it like this and not put the cork backing on it if you were gonna use it as like a pretty sign. But if you're actually gonna use it as a coaster, you do need to have some heat protectant spray. So again, it doesn't have to be this brand, but what you want is the engine spray. That's like 550 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, clear gloss. All right, so that is it. Again, if you do make a coaster with one of our napkins, I would love for you to tag us at Christian Craft Paper on social. Make sure you share it in the group as well. We're on Facebook at Christian Craftaholics. And again, thank you so much for watching our tutorial. I love to see what you make. And until next time, happy crafting.